And we're back with the program. This is Daryl coming right back at you with the PCC Multiverse. I had to bring in this person coming up next right here because major news came across the wire. Rumors are flying all around. Deals are being made behind the scenes. And, well, I guess there's just no better way to say it, but the future of The Walking Dead is now clearly up in the air. And who better to break it down for us? Who better to clear that air is I guess, I've been all through the internet, through Facebook now for so many years. I have not found a better moderator out there than the moderator for the Walking Dead fan base. If you want to go and find the best Walking Dead fan group out there, you just got to go check out the Walking Dead fan base Facebook group and also Facebook page as well. There are tens of thousands of followers for both these pages, and you just got to check it out today. It's Daphine Matthew. Again, it's such a great pleasure having you right here on the show, Daphne, and so looking forward to having you give us an update of what's going on with The Walking Dead.
Thank you, Gerald. Well, basically on Tuesday I'll say it was around 2 p.m. Eastern time, I got the information that Andrew Lincoln is leaving The Walking Dead. I had to go through some sources. Well, I didn't have to go through any sources. I confirmed it myself, and basically that's true. He will be leaving The Walking Dead this upcoming season. It was
that's some big news. I don't think anybody could actually find or create any bigger news than that for The Walking Dead at this point in time.
No, I mean, everybody is still reeling from Chandler Riggs being killed off, and then they got hit with Andrew Lincoln is actually leaving. He hasn't made a statement as of yet, but a lot of the things that I've seen swirling around is that he's just burnt out. He wants to do movies, he wants to do other things, and most importantly, he wants to spend more time with his family. His kids are 8 and 11 respectively. And one of the things I know is that when the show started in 2010, he missed the birth of his son because he was filming. And now that they're of school age, he's just tired of having them, uproot them from whatever they're doing over in the UK and to come over here for 8 months and then, go back home and be off for 4 months and then have to go through the whole cycle again. So I understand that the show actually did, and this is something that a lot of people may hear eventually, is that they did know this was going to happen. They knew, I would say maybe around the same time that it was announced that Chandler Riggs was going to be killed off the show. He had a very close relationship with Chandler. And he has been quoted many times saying since it broke that Chandler Riggs was dying, that he really was having problems doing the show without Chandler Riggs being there. And he did talk extensively with Scott Gimple about, this storyline, and he didn't want it to happen. So basically, I think really what happened is that, that was the final straw for him, because he nearly did quit in 2013 when Scott Gimple first came on the show because they had creative differences. So I think he's been wanting to leave for some time, but this was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak.
Definitely some pointed things right there. Once again, it is Daphine Matthew from the Walking Dead fan base. You got to check out their awesome Facebook pages and groups today. Be a part of the conversation, because from what I've been observing, there has been quite a conversation indeed. Major news. Yeah. Major news. Again, Andrew Lincoln is, I think, on for 6 more episodes. Then pretty much he's done with The Walking Dead as of this point in time.
Yeah, so right now the debate is going on. There's a couple of things swirling out there. How is he going to leave the show? Will they kill him? Will he just leave? Or will... One of the things that's been coming out today, which is quite disappointing to me, is rumors that they may even try to recast his role. I think out of respect to the fans and to Andrew Lincoln himself for being an awesome character for 9 seasons, that they shouldn't even think about it. They didn't recast Lauren. They never said they were going to recast Lauren Cohan when it was announced that she was leaving also in season 9, and she's only going to do 6 episodes too. They said that was not even being considered to recast her role. They didn't recast Chandler. Now, for whatever reasons they fired Chandler, most of it, from what I know, is that it was over the money they wouldn't pay him. AMC wouldn't pay him, and his father wasn't happy. And his father and Scott Gimple has a very bad history. They wouldn't pay him. They wouldn't pay Lauren Cohan, but they said they would not recast the roles. So to say or even bring up the idea to recast Rick Grimes, the major character of the show, is really a slap in the face to the fan bases out there all across the world, because we know this character. There is no other person out there that epitomizes Rick Grimes more than Andrew Lincoln. And to even think about recasting him is a slap to the fan's face. It's a slap to his face, because that means that they never considered him that important as the character playing that role.
You could pretty much count the days and the episodes before the show would be canceled if that was the case.
Oh yeah, if it ever comes to light that they're recasting that role, that show is over. I think the show is pretty much done, not even because of the characters leaving, but because of the time at which season 9 is covering is up to the actual comics now. I mean, they've already brought in Georgie, which is the leader of the Commonwealth, and that's the current comic storyline that's going on. The whisperers, the rumor is they're going to show up to end towards the mid-season. So it seems like they're combining the 2 storylines now for sake of time. And then, I don't know, maybe a year, maybe 2 more seasons, maybe by season 12, it'll be a wrap. But I think now it's going to happen sooner rather than later, because, I mean, let's be honest, who do they have left? They have Norman Reedus, from the original cast. They have Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl, and they have Melissa McBride, who plays Carol. Now, if you go on Facebook and look at any Walking Dead related group, the debate is today, and has been since Tuesday, who is going to take the lead. Now, I'm sure you've read it. It's been all over the television, the radio, offered Norman Reedus somewhere around the figure of $20 million in order to take the lead.
And that's correct. And that's correct. Yes. Norman Reedus has been rumored to accept that contract extension for $20 million as far as a season. I believe if I'm not mistaken, that's the rumored price.
Yeah. And which, again, to me, in my opinion, that is another. He hasn't accepted yet, so he hasn't. I follow him on Twitter, and he hasn't made any kind of statement. He hasn't accepted yet. They are offering him that money to stay, because maybe he was going to leave too. We don't know.
Well, I will say this. If I could just interrupt, I think they're looking in the wrong direction. I pointed it out to you before in our previous conversations that I think Danai Gurira is a star in the making. She is completely completely burst onto the scene when it comes to her work with Black Panther and Avengers Infinity War. And I think it would be not in AMC's best interest to put her and give her that kind of offer. It would be in their best interest to give her that kind of offer as opposed to maybe Norman Reedus, who I don't see particularly as a lead character, but as a very strong side character. I could definitely see Denai in that type of role as Michonne, but I cannot see Norman Reedus as Daryl Dixon, basically able to lead this group. I think Melissa McBride would be ahead of her in my opinion, but I think either of those two actresses would be well versed to become the lead more so than Daryl Dixon, because I think he thrives off of being that supporting character.
And I agree as far as Norman Reedus. I don't believe his character. I'm not talking about the person himself because I have met him. He's a wonderful person.
And nor am I. I'm just talking about the character you see on screen.
As far as the character goes and the way the character has developed, or in a lot of people's opinions, not developed over the past 8 years, he's not capable of carrying the show. The character would not, they would have to totally reconstruct Daryl Dixon, and it wouldn't work out well because people see him as he is now. Rick's second in command after the death of Glenn. He's a loner. He does things erratically. And to change him like that would pretty much solidify the end of the show. Denai Guerrera, wonderful actress, met her too. I don't see her being on the show much longer for the reasons that you said. Her film career is ablaze right now. So I don't see her continuing on, even though she would be an excellent lead, in my opinion. And that's the last, I've met most of the major cast, and she's absolutely a beautiful person inside and out. Melissa McBride, Carol, would be a great leader. I mean, if you go back and look at the history of the show, she, over the course since season 5, has done things that even Rick couldn't do. I mean, she saved them all from Terminus. She actually led the fight in season 8 of the Kingdomers against the Saviors. Unfortunately, they all got killed except for Ezekiel, Jerry, and Alvaro, but that was not of her doing. Who told them to hang out in the field after they finished fighting? No, I don't know. But she, in my opinion, is one of maybe the second strongest character in the cast, and they should make her role more concrete, more of a leadership role. Now, as far as the money, I have an issue with the money. They shouldn't be offering anybody. If after the contract dispute with Lauren Cohan, which has resulted in her exiting the show after 6 episodes also, and in the background, the incident with Chandler Riggs, which led to his firing from the show, to offer one person that amount of money when you wouldn't give the other actors and actresses that make this show so great better contracts with more money, that's an insult to the cast, and that's going to cause problems within the cast. Now, this cast says they're all family. They all get along. And to give a person that kind of money when these people have to fight tooth and nail for a raise is kind of insulting to the cast. And it may cause problems internally or behind the scenes with the cast. You might see a mass exodus of the major characters leaving if he accepts. I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't one person who made that show. I understand Norman Reedus. Daryl is a fan favorite. I like him. He's not my favorite character because they haven't developed him as a character. But to make that kind of offer to one person and make it publicly known that you're offering this person $20 million to stay is insulting to the rest of the cast, because they're all a function within that show, and they all contributed to making that show the success it is. It wasn't just Andrew Lincoln. It wasn't just Norman Reedus. It wasn't just any of the other characters. It was that combination of all these characters that they brought in that worked, that made this show what it is today. Now, a lot of people are saying that the show should end because the ratings aren't great and the storylines wasn't great. I actually enjoyed season 8 more than I enjoyed season 7 because they did try to go back, but then with the surprise, I'll say the thrill kill they threw in there, it kind of left a bad taste in people's mouths. Now, over the course of the summer, I'm sure more things are definitely going to develop. We probably will hear a statement from Andrew Lincoln soon. But as far as everything goes right now, the only thing we know for sure is that he is leaving. Everything else they're saying about they offered Norman Reedus an extremely large amount of money to stay. He hasn't accepted. He does have a baby on the way, though, so congratulations to Norman on that. We don't know. The biggest question right now that's going around the internet and a lot of groups on Facebook is how is Rick going to leave? Are they going to recast him, or is he going to be exiled by Maggie? Is he going to die? I think, for me personally, it'd be a very hard thing to see on the screen, but I would prefer they kill him off and leave no chance of no chance of recasting. It seems pretty clear from his perspective and his standpoint on the whole matter is that he will not return. So close the door completely, kill off the character, end the chapter of Rick Grimes. I hate to say that because he's still alive in the comics and so is Carl. But I would or better yet, just end the show in season 9. That's what I have.
and that's my last question to you, Daphne. The future of The Walking Dead, obviously with Andrew Lincoln leaving, obviously with the problems that also as well, Laurie Cohen leaving the character of Maggie. She has been rumored, like you said, leaving after 6 episodes as well. She got a pilot picked up, I believe, by ABC, and
she did.
She is obviously on her way out as well. You're talking about all the money issues about where they want to go ahead and give the money to, as opposed to who maybe they should have given the money to. With all that said and done, how much future does The Walking Dead have left?
Oh my God. I was optimistic until this announcement came out that it would end after 12 seasons, because over the course of ever since I would say maybe season 2 or season 3, when they had their little pre-season specials with the cast and would interview them and ask them questions, they all asked them, how long do you see The Walking Dead as a TV show? And all the cast agreed that 12 years was enough. I know they got, AMC got a little bit, how should I say, ahead of themselves, or thinking that it could go 20 years or 22 seasons, but unless they seem to be doing it anyway, bringing new characters and bringing new storylines, I never saw it going past 12. I mean, the cast is getting older. I mean, Norman Reedus is going to be 50 next year. Andrew Lincoln is in his early 40s. Chandler Riggs is going to be 19. Well, he's no longer on the show. And Melissa McBride is 53. The cast is getting older. I mean, this is a grueling shoot. To do this show, it's a grueling schedule they have. They film 16-hour days, 7 days a week for nearly 8 months. I mean, they do get breaks. They go to San Diego for Comic-Con. And they film in Atlanta, of all places. It's an oven down there in the summer. So, I mean, I was optimistic and hoped that has agreed, 12 would be enough. But now with all these changes, and I know, at the end of season 8, Gimple has publicly said that, this closes the chapter of the first the first story of The Walking Dead, and there's going to be big changes. I bet he never saw this coming on the horizon, and I guess if he had known in advance that Andrew Lincoln was going to leave, maybe they wouldn't have killed off Carl, but you don't know. So I am going to go with my gut and say if this isn't the last season, next season 10 will be.
So it will be ending at 10. Over under right now, probably in Vegas, is 10. I'd probably say even money right on the line of 10 as well. That's a nice round number to actually end the show on, and hopefully a lot of those answers to those questions.
Yes.
And hopefully a lot of those answers to those questions, and hopefully a lot of those questions will be answered over the course of the next year and a half, when it comes to the, I guess, possible ending of The Walking Dead, because I don't foresee it going too much longer myself. Once again, it is Daphine Matthew from The Walking Dead fan base. Again, if you are a devoted fan to everything The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, you got to head over to Facebook and go ahead and type in The Walking Dead fan base. She is one of the best moderators I've ever seen. She keeps everybody in the loop as far as what's going on with the show and everything relating to The Walking Dead. You got to check out the page and also the Facebook group today, The Walking Dead fan base. Daphne, it's always a pleasure having you on the program, being part of the show, and giving us the latest 411 on what's going on with The Walking Dead.
Thank you so much, Daryl. I will keep everybody in the loop as the news comes in. So for right now, the only thing we know for sure is Andrew Lincoln is leaving. Only thing I want to say to that before we go is that I wish him the best of luck in all of his future endeavors. He gave us an awesome show and gave us the best acting I've seen on the show in a very long time for 9 years. That's a long time. And he was very dedicated. And I am sure this was not done with the sleight of hand, and that, he really had a difficult time coming to that decision. And I hope a lot of fans take that into consideration. These actors don't have it easy. They get paid to do these roles, but they do have lives. They do have families. They do have dreams. A lot of them do not see this as their life's work, and they want to pursue other things. And I hope at the end of the day, when all of the initial shock wears off, that people will accept that, you know what, for him, this was his best decision. And I hope that for what it is, that people will continue to support the show, support the Facebook pages, and, wish this man well instead of some of the comments I have been seeing as of late. So with that, I will say I wish everybody a great day, and that, we will all get through this. It's a big change. It's a big shock, and we'll survive it.
Very, very choice words indeed, especially regarding the show that we're talking about. Those are some great thoughts indeed. Again, Daphne, it's great having you part of the show. My best to Andrew Lincoln, and thanking him as well for all that he has done, and Laurie Cohen as well. Both those fine actors doing such a great job on the show for so many years. And it won't be the same without them, especially Andrew Lincoln. I mean, the whole series has centered around him for years. But we're now going to be going into a kind of a mystery phase on what's to come. And I know you and I will be talking about The Walking Dead sometime very soon.
Yeah, we'll be talking in a couple of weeks about the Fear the Walking Dead mid-season finale, which to me is very interesting right now.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to that. Exactly. I'm looking forward to that as well. Once again, it's Daphine Matthew. It's always a great pleasure having you part of the show, and of course, a part of the pop culture cosmos.
All right. Have a good evening, everyone.